When it comes to the three main console manufacturers, the Xbox brand is probably in the most interesting position out of the three. You of course have Sony with the PS4, and the sun is pretty much setting on that horizon for the system. You have a bunch of big games coming out over this year and next year for the system, and then when it comes to 2020, we're probably going to start talking about new hardware, as the system has been out since 2013. You also look at the Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch, and that system has really been starting to hit its stride. After the failures of the Wii U, the commercial flop of the system, they really seem to have found a nice market with the Nintendo Switch, and they seem to be starting to do well, and like I said, hitting their stride with the system. But the Xbox One never really got a chance to hit its stride. The Xbox One, of course, launched with some interesting issues going on, and then we had the system itself, which was presented as one thing, and then they did a 180 on it and fixed a lot of things. It's been a bit of a rocky life cycle for the Xbox One, which is a shame because I really enjoy my Xbox One S. But in this video, I basically want to explore the current state of Xbox. I want to explore 2018, 2019, the future for the system, the future for Project Scarlet, and the future of games on the Xbox platforms. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Xbox and what its future may hold.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards!
So like I said, the launch of the Xbox One was pretty rocky at best. They had a lot of big expectations. They really wanted to change sort of the gaming industry with a more digital focus, and unfortunately it just did not hit a chord with gamers. A lot of people were upset by it. A lot of people didn't like what Microsoft is bringing to the table, so they pretty much did a 180 on the project. And when the Xbox One came out, it of course was a $500 system bundled with Kinect. And you had the PlayStation 4, which was $100 cheaper and did not come with Kinect. A lot of gamers, I don't think, really enjoyed Kinect. It seemed to hit a decent stride on the Xbox 360, but that had such a big install base that people were bound to pick up something like the Kinect. I don't think people really wanted motion controls with their new Xbox system, and of course Xbox had to pretty much change their philosophy on that, removing Kinect from the system. And when was the last time you saw an Xbox One Kinect game? It's been quite a while, so obviously the Kinect experiment sort of failed, and I don't really think that they put many high hopes into it, but it did fail. Now of course the launch of the system had a bunch of really good games within that first window. You had games like Rise, Sunset Overdrive, and of course Quantum Break, which were awesome games, Xbox One console exclusives, and really enjoyable experiences. Those are three of the most enjoyable games I feel on the Xbox One. But the exclusives started to sort of dwindle a bit, and that became a problem for Microsoft. They sort of had some decent stuff along the way, but in the year 2018, it's really starting to be a glaring problem. We've had two Xbox One console exclusives released this year, with State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves. Both games are decent games, but they're definitely not AAA games, I feel. And the fact that they're available on Xbox Game Pass, which is a monthly subscription service that allows you to play a plethora of games, which is honestly one of the best features of the Xbox One, it really doesn't resonate with people to go out and buy these games brand new on day one, because you can just essentially get them for a fraction of the price if you have Game Pass. These games are free if you have Game Pass, actually. So it's sort of been a rocky year for them. Crackdown 3, of course, was supposed to be another big game for them in 2018, but we've heard tons of development issues with that, and now that game has been scheduled to 2019. The only big game coming out for the Xbox One that's a console exclusive is of course Forza Horizon 4, and while it looks like a great racing game, I don't really think that's going to sell many new Xbox One systems. I don't think people are going to go out of their way to pick up an Xbox One this holiday season. Now obviously Xbox's focus this year was on E3 2018, and they did a lot of good when it comes to the future of the Xbox and the Xbox brand. They did raise some questions, but it's definitely apparent that they are looking towards the future of the system, and they're trying to have an action-packed 2019. We already mentioned that Crackdown 3 was going to be a 2019 game. We're also going to be getting Gears of War 5 for the Xbox One, which will be a console exclusive, of course, and Halo Infinite, which of course is another console exclusive. So big franchises there, big name games, definitely AAA style games, maybe not so much Crackdown, but definitely a good start to the year of 2019 to know these games going going into the year. But the problem is the 2018 situation is still around, and while the Xbox One is a great system to pick up as a complementary system, it's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard sale, in my opinion, if you're not an Xbox One owner in 2018 to pick up an Xbox One, just because there's nothing really coming out exclusively for the system. And then of course most of these games are available on PC as well, so if you have a good PC, you're in good shape. So it's tough. It's definitely a tough position for the Xbox One. Definitely some sort of parallels with the Wii U, with mistakes being made on the system, but I still enjoy my Xbox One, and I'm still curious to the future of the system. I still really love things like Game Pass because it allows me to play games that maybe I wouldn't have checked out in the past. Now, of course, with Xbox's E3, one of the big announcements was that they purchased 5 new studios, but I really don't feel like that's going to be a huge impact on the Xbox One itself. Now, you got to remember, 2 of these studios actually already work on Microsoft exclusive things like State of Decay 2 and of course the Forza Horizon series, so you probably won't see much out of them. I really think this is more bolstering towards the future of the Xbox One, maybe in 2019 and beyond, but more than likely this will come into play with Project Scarlet. Now, if you're not familiar with what Project Scarlet is, essentially this is the Xbox One 2, and there's been all sorts of crazy rumors going around about this system. The main ones that I've heard is basically you're going to see this unveiled at E3 2019 and then possibly release in 2019 as well. And that honestly kind of throws up a few red flags to me, because let's look at one of the most successful things about the Xbox One brand right now, and I think that's got to be the Xbox One X. And while I haven't picked up an X yet, a lot of people seem to be enjoying the Xbox One X because it's the best way to play third-party games right now that come out on the PS4 and the Xbox One, because the X is stronger than the Pro, and most of these games run better. So if you like top-notch specs, the Xbox One X actually hits a good mark. I think a lot of Xbox One X owners will be a bit upset if this system releases already in 2019. Granted, the Xbox One X was just a mid-generation refresh, much like the Xbox One S, and it was a bit confusing for consumers, I feel, but the way that they spread it out was decent enough. But what I'm hearing with Project Scarlet is kind of scary in my opinion, because what's supposedly being proposed is that there will be 3 different SKUs for Project Scarlet, or the Xbox One 2, available at launch. There will be the entry console, the mid console, and then the high console. And I don't like that. I'm sorry. I'm totally okay with mid console refreshes because it brings in new people. It could potentially bring in new people, and of course people want to upgrade their systems if they really want to. If there's cool stuff, if there's better resolution, better textures, better frame rates and stuff, it gives an incentive to do it. It's sort of like PC gaming. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I understand why it is a necessity. Technology moves so fast nowadays that you sort of need these these mid-generation refreshes. But with something like the Xbox 2 or Project Scarlet releasing 3 SKUs at once, I don't like that. I think it's a bit too dangerous. I think it's a bit too confusing for potential consumers. Which one do you buy? If there's such big performance differences, like look at a game like PUBG running on the Xbox One original model versus the Xbox One X. It's like night and day. Like it actually runs playably on the Xbox One X, whereas on the Xbox One, you get very minimalistic frame rates and tons of issues with it. I think it's very dangerous to do that in my opinion. And the final thing I have a concern about is Microsoft potentially shifting away from the traditional console. Now hear me out on this. When Gears Tactics was announced as one of the 3 games for the Gears franchise at E3 2018, I quickly realized that this was a PC only game, and people seem to miss that announcement, and right now that's a pretty hot topic, is that Gears Tactics is indeed a PC only game that will not be releasing on the Xbox One. And that's kind of strange to me because this game is scheduled to release in 2019, and it's another game for a system that is on a console that doesn't have a lot of games. Things like the Halo arcade game as well. This looks like a really fun arcade game, but once again, it's a arcade exclusive. Why would you not want to sort of put something on the Xbox One in this style, or do something on the Xbox One, just port it to the system? It seems really strange to me, and I almost feel like Microsoft is exploring ways to get out of the hardware market and focus more on games. Look at a lot of their games recently. They're games as a service. A game like State of Decay 2 or Sea of Thieves is definitely a PC inspired game. So to see this sort of shift in their mentality, and whether they're going to say it or not, they probably won't, but I sort of see this as a shift for them, and it will lead to some really interesting things. Will they completely abandon the hardware market? Is the Project Scarlet thing even going to come out? I definitely think that there will be a successor to the Xbox One, but will it be something that we expect, or is it going to be something completely different? How powerful will this system be? And if you're releasing 3 SKUs at once, is there even room for a mid-generation refresh? Plus, you have the whole PlayStation situation. What are they doing with the PlayStation 5? If the Xbox One 2 or Project Scarlet comes out before the PS5, then obviously Sony is going to know about this system to sort of ramp up their system even more. So if Sony can take advantage of the power war and Sony has all this momentum, could it scream doom for Microsoft in the Xbox One 2? I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting situation, but it's just something I wanted to discuss with you guys because I do like the Xbox brand. I do enjoy playing my Xbox One. It's the main console in my bedroom. It's a great multimedia device, and there's some fun games, and things like Game Pass are absolutely amazing. I love how they're upscaling old original Xbox One or original Xbox games and making them almost like new experiences. I think that's a really cool thing with the Xbox One, but I'm definitely a bit concerned about the future of the system and Microsoft as a whole when it comes to video games and whatnot, because I don't really know what they're doing, and I don't think anyone knows what they're doing. But one thing is for sure, it'll be definitely very interesting to check out. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the Xbox One, what you think of these Project Scarlet rumors, and do you find it strange that things like the Halo arcade game and of course Gears Tactics are not coming to a home console under the Xbox One brand, and they're just staying either in the arcade or on PC? And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm doing all sorts of crazy videos on here, and if you really enjoyed it, check out the links in the description box down below. We got Patreon, t-shirts, social media, all sorts of fun ways to keep up to date with the ever-growing world of RGT 85, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.
RGT 85. RGT 85. RGT 85.